Have you ever considered becoming a caregiver? And today we're going to talk about the value of caregiving and how retirees can play a huge role in being a caregiver. So, if you want to know more about caregiving, if you've ever considered it at all, this is the perfect opportunity for you. So, stay tuned. Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Scan FYI. Well, my guest today is the one and only Jim Wynn from Comfort Keepers. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to see you on a Zoom square.
Nice to see you too.
So I will let Jim, why don't you give everyone a brief intro of who you are and the company that you're with?
So I own Comfort Keepers. We are located in Shrewsbury and Monmouth County. I also have an office in Edison and also have an office in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. So we employ, approximately 200 caregivers, and we take care of primarily seniors. And our goal is to keep them at home and keep them safe, and provide everyday care for them. So that's kind of what we do. I've been doing this for 11 years now. I've been the owner, and it's a very, very rewarding career. We've helped numerous people throughout my time with this.
Well, because most of us want to be able to live in our homes, age in place. And Comfort Keepers, an organization like this is how for many people, this is how we're able to stay home. So it's really very important. And so it is an important topic to talk about the idea of becoming a caregiver. And let's to get the ball rolling, Jim, talk about the importance of caregiving in our society these days.
So obviously, there's a number out there that over 10,000 people are over 65, are turning 65, daily. So we have an overabundance of people who are getting older. And the good part is we're living longer. So 37% of my clients are over the age of 90. So 20
Really?
years ago, yeah. So 20 years ago, that would be unheard of. So we've got people going into their hundreds. And people are continuing, as much as they say we're in bad health, people are continuing to live longer. So those that are really taking care of themselves are living longer. And so that creates, the good part is they're living longer. The bad part is they're living longer. So, and they need more help.
Good
So,
news and bad news. Yeah.
good news and bad news. So the issues are, where people want to be when they age and whether they're in assisted living or somewhere else. The chances are you're going to need help, some sort of assistance with your daily activities. And that's where caregiving comes in, and kind of our discussion or our topic today is the retirees. Many of my employees are people who are actually on their second careers, basically, and so they've decided they like this field. Maybe they come from all backgrounds. Some come from corporate background, and when we kind of retire or we semi-retire, the big thing is we still want to work, but we kind of want to work on our own kind of schedule and things like that.
Right. You're
So
looking for some flexibility.
they're looking for flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
So, many people want to be close to home. They don't want to commute. They don't always want, they kind of want to work as many hours as they want to work. And retirees are good candidates for this. They generally have a lot of life experience.
Right.
They've already, they're mature, and they're excited about doing this. So not everyone is suited to be a caregiver. Not every retiree is suited to become a caregiver, but we kind of have a good stable of people. Some are going into their 70s who are caregivers, and so it's really, we have a good population of people working for us that are doing this.
So what kind of a personality, or, what type of person is best suited, would you say, to become a caregiver?
So the type of person that is suited would be someone who, you have to want to drive. obviously to the location, but you definitely have to have empathy. So kind of our
Yeah.
5 pillars are empathy, integrity. They have to be flexible. They have to be caring. Um, and they have to be professional. So that type of person is really suited, and most retirees kind of fit into that. And it's so in that way it's a good fit for them, and they have to have a lot of energy. Obviously, they have to be personable. They have to like dealing with seniors. So many people retirees have either dealing with their own parents, and they like it, and so that's why they kind of go into this.
So, I never really thought, I have to say that I think this is an interesting conversation because of course, working at SCAN, we know that a lot of people who retire, well, they are looking for something to do. They're not done yet. They want to do something, and they have the time and the energy now to do something that they want to do. So this
Right.
seems like for a lot of people, this would be a good fit. And of course, let me just remind all of our viewers out there that all of the information for Jim and Comfort Keeper, it's all on the screen, and there'll be an expanded version of it in the description. So if you have an interest, you'll be able to reach out to Jim. So what if somebody is interested? What do they need to do? What are the steps?
Yeah, so they can call us. They can also go to our website, which will allow them to actually schedule an interview to talk to somebody. They don't have to be fully committed to go to the interview. It can be a discussion. We're going to talk to them about whether they're fit for it, if it's something they want to do. So they would set up an interview, do an initial talk, and we would kind of talk about it. Generally, it used to be there was a lot of companion cases where you didn't have to be certified. You could just kind of go. We're finding that in most cases, we really need people to get certified, and we will pay for them to do that, to get their CHHA license, which is a certified home health aid license, which is licensed through the state. So we pay for that for them up front to go. And we ask for a 6-month commitment to work for us upon completion of that. And it's basically that course is 60 hours of online coursework. So they can do it at their own leisure. And then
Okay.
they need to complete 16 hours of in-person clinical training, which usually is about 2 days.
So
So
what kind of training? What are the kinds of things that I have an interest, okay, you're gonna train me, which is wonderful, but what are the kinds of things that am I going to be trained on?
you're going to learn Alzheimer's training. You're going to learn lifting techniques. You're going to learn, how to deal with seniors, personal care, disease prevention, infection prevention, things like that. The coursework's not real. It's not. I wouldn't call it real rigorous. Some people here they have to go to coursework, but it's going to be something they are
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
happy to take because they're going to know it. And the other part of it is that some seniors say they wouldn't want to have to say, if somebody's incontinent, deal with incontinence care. Um, they wouldn't be required to do that even if they're certified. But usually, as far as the state goes and as far as good practices go, is that even if you touch somebody, really you're required to be certified. So we've gone into, because of the age of people now, you start to get into over 90. Even if you help somebody up, you handle them in any way, you really should be certified. So we really require people to be certified, because if they're not at that point, the person could get to that point pretty quickly, particularly if you have somebody in their 90s, 80s, 90s years old. So we really want them to be certified. And so it doesn't mean because they get certified and, they learn incontinence care. I mean, some people don't like Alzheimer's, they really can't handle Alzheimer's patients and they prefer not to do that. We respect that. You don't have to go to those cases. We don't want somebody on a case that they're not comfortable with. So if they don't want to do
All right.
incontinence care,
Yeah, that's fair.
so some people don't want to lift people. They don't want to move somebody that's bedridden. So there's so many different levels of care that people have. They won't be just because they take these classes and they know it, but it's good to have that background because they even to let them know what they can do and not do. So
And you were talking about lifting techniques, and I know that if you don't, whether it's a big person, a small person, if you don't do it properly, you could hurt, as the caregiver, you could hurt yourself. So I think it's important to know things like that rather than just go into a situation, oh, I can do this. Why do I need training? But you do need training.
right, yeah. So one of the big things too is for instance when someone falls, what to do when someone falls.
Yes, yes.
So generally it's counterintuitive. If somebody falls, generally you're supposed to go down with them. So, most people, that's not what you do. Usually you will reach out and you'll grab somebody, reach for them, and that you can hurt yourself as well as hurt them. So that's a case why training is very important, because the average person doesn't really know that, and so even though you may be doing a companion cases, mostly you could run into a circumstance where the individual falls, and as you get up in years, you're more likely to have falls, and that this could
The
happen.
the people that you've trained who are, retired, and now this is, the second or possibly even a third career for some people. What do they tell you that they get out of it? What is the satisfaction for them that keeps people coming back?
So our motto is that we elevate the human spirit. So that is one of our, that's our kind of our motto as Comfort Keepers corporate wide. And so people generally get that of giving joy to people, and helping them, and that people are happy to see them. Sometimes they're not always happy to see them. Sometimes they're helping the families. So you're not just helping the senior; it's the families that you're taking this burden off of and giving them respite or whatever. And so we've retirees that been with us 10, 15, 20 years. So this is really a
It's a long time. Yeah.
second half of their second half of their life. They're doing this. And again, gives them kind of that flexibility, and so forth. So we have 80-year-olds taking care of 90-year-olds, and these, because there's some very vigorous 80-year-olds out there. Now they might not be able to lift somebody or something like that, but certain cases they're much better, and the seniors love them. Because they are closer in age.
I could definitely understand that, as a senior, having someone closer to my age would feel a lot more, well, would feel better than having someone who was, 20 years old. I would think they would have a lot more to talk about, having someone closer to your age. I think that probably does make it a nice thing for someone.
Yeah, for sure. And then we have people in their 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, too. So yeah, and people do ask, and they do like to have somebody that's older. There is a maturity level, a little more of a commitment sometimes, than the young ones. But we have some good younger, caregivers too, so not necessarily, but we have some seniors that are only working for us maybe 8 hours a week. They just want to do a little bit, and maybe go out in the middle of the day for a couple hours and help somebody, and then go about their day. So it's a very nice option for somebody who doesn't want to, who may not want to work full time. And then we have some that work full time. They decide they want to work full time. They want to make some money, some extra money, maybe contribute to the 401k we have for them, and add to their retirement. So it's very nice. Some of it's a big change. Maybe they've sat at a desk their whole life. Now they get to move around, cook some meals, or some people who've had children, so they miss all that kind of busyness that they've had with their kids, making meals, things like that. So it can be very, very rewarding.
So it offers, well, of course, some extra money, but flexibility. and I guess I see job satisfaction. So this is something I guess most seniors are looking for. If you're looking to do something, and I feel like you're going to make a difference in somebody else's life, right? You're doing something good for someone else, which ultimately does good for you. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, people come from jobs where they may not be necessarily rewarding. Maybe they're coming from banking. Nothing wrong with banking,
Nothing wrong with banking.
but they kind of they get into this and they get to work, so they're working under the supervision of our nurses. So they get help out there, and so there is a lot of interaction. And they do get a kick out of seeing their clients thrive and get better, sometimes, much better than they were, and giving that person a quality of life, so. And maybe also they're looking to where that they're going to be in that position soon too. So it's a very again, it's a nice way to keep active, and keep your mind stimulated. It's constantly changing. You may be on different cases. Cases do come and go. And so as I said, that's why a lot of the seniors really, really enjoy this. But it has to be for you. You have to have the right personality. Not everybody's cut out to be a caregiver.
Well, that's true. And I guess maybe one of the best ways to find out is to take that first step and to call Comfort Keepers. And, like you were saying, the interview process, it's no obligation. Find out if it is right for you. If not, okay. But if it is right for you, I think there's a lot of benefits to this as, your next career, or it's some people want to volunteer, which is great. Some people need to be paid. For a lot of us, we need to earn extra money. This seems like an excellent opportunity, Jim, for a senior.
Yeah, it's kind of that middle of the road. You're getting paid, to do this job, but you're doing something that's rewarding, and so it never hurts to make a little bit of money. Some people need the money in the retirement. Some people don't, who work for me. They don't even need the money, but this is a good option. As far as as far as working, some people like kind of, I don't want to call it a business environment, but an environment where you're giving a service, and so, which is a little different than volunteering.
Yes.
But you're giving a service, and you're learning something, and there's always something comes up that you don't know, and then also kind of getting into this healthcare field, that we're in, and kind of understanding the way that these things work. So it is. It's a little different than volunteering or taking classes at SCAN, but you can work for me and you can take classes at SCAN. So you can
Absolutely.
do both because you have the
You could-
time. You're not committed to an 8-hour day job. If you go to retail or restaurants or some of those jobs that retirees are taking, usually they want commitments out of you. Whereas we're going to put you on cases. You're committed to coming to work every day. There's no doubt about it. It is a commitment. But you can kind of choose, I want to do 2-3 days a week, maybe, a couple hours a day, and we have cases for you. We have cases for you. So, and sometimes people come off for a little while. Maybe their, case ends and they take a little time off and then they come back in. So, all different kinds of people. Or there's people that just, they want to work all the time. And we can keep you
One
busy.
thing
There's
I've
plenty of
learned
things
about
to keep you busy.
working for SCAN, working with seniors, is seniors want flexibility in their lives, because most seniors that I know are very busy doing all sorts of things. So this looks like a great opportunity because you can have flexibility of schedule and still have plenty of room to do other things that you would want to do. Plus, you're going to be trained by Comfort Keeper, so it's kind of a nice package. And once again, if people want to reach out to Comfort Keepers, phone is on the screen, but it's 732-530-3636, and we'll put the website up there as well. All right. Well, wonderful. Jim, thank you, because this is a topic that we've not touched on before. So it was good to talk about this today. Thank you.
Yeah, it was fun. And again, anybody who wants to reach out to us, even if they kind of thinking about it. We're
Yeah.
willing to talk to them and, let them know and tell them the good and the bad.
The only way you're going to know if it's for you is if to take that first step, call Comfort Keepers. And if it's for you, it sounds like it would be a very good opportunity for the right person. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So we love our retirees.
Yes. So remember out there, if it's important to you, it's important to us. I'm Andrea Tarr, and we'll see you next time on Scan FYI. So bye, everyone, and bye, Jim.
Bye.